Well, howdy, howdy. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, we are live at 5. Live at 5 on a Sunday afternoon. I know it is football time, but all of us ain't watching football, right? Not everybody's watching football. So it's live at 5. Say we may have football going, but tune in just a little bit over here. See what's going on. Listen up, listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Yeah, let's see what we got going on in here. Up in here today. I didn't go live last week. Decided I didn't. I don't really have an answer as to why I didn't, but I didn't. But in the future, I'm planning on being here on Sundays because I think Sundays is a good time to be live. It's a good time to be live. Let me make sure the word is going out to all the people that we are here. We are here in living color. Let's let the people know that we are here. Yep, looks like I'm live on Facebook. Let's go make sure we're live on YouTube, on the Tube U or the YouTube. Let's go make sure we're live over there. Let's see if I'm live over on YouTube. Looks like I am live on the Tube. Welcome. Y'all come on in. Let's see what we're going to talk about today. I'm looking around here so I can see what's going on. Hey. Please make sure you give StreamYard permission to put your name and stuff in here so we can know who you are. And if you've got comments, please feel free to put the comments in the chat, questions in the chat, comments in the chat, all those good things. Let's tell the world that we're on. Telling the world I'm live at YouTube there we go. We're live on YouTube in living color. We're live and in living color on the Tube U. YouTube. Thank you. Push it out to the people. YouTube, let them know. I know, I've been looking at church on YouTube the majority of today. And a lot happens on Sundays on YouTube. A lot's going on YouTube on Sundays. So I want to make sure that I squeeze in between all the fun stuff and see if there's anything happening. I knew as soon as I turned on all these lights, I was going to get hot. I don't want to do what the song says and take off all my clothes. Hey, Deborah. We don't want to take off all our clothes because it's hot in here, because YouTube might not enjoy that as much. YouTube might not be too keen on that concept. So let's not, right? Let's not do that. Let's not. Well, I wanted to share that we last week spent, oh my goodness, a good amount of time really just, maybe I'll do this. We spent a good amount of time last week making some money in our community. I just got temporarily distracted. That's where I couldn't finish that sentence. We made some really good money last week in our community using the 0 DTE options. And if you're somebody who is interested in using 0 DTE options, you might want to consider joining in with the community so we can see if you can make some of that good money too. Because there is a few dollars to be made. There are some dollars to be made, and you just have to know the strategy. And I'm teaching the strategy, so you just have to jump on board, learn the strategy. No, I don't want to reel. Learn the strategy and come on and let's start making. You can start making some of them every week profits as well. I have the strategy on on my channel, there's a few videos that talk about zero DTE options. You can go ahead and check that out. With government funding being agreed to and signed this weekend, I'd expect to gap up Monday. Also, the beginning of Q4. How do you see that affecting? Yeah. The government shutdown thing is good. Well, the government shutdown being avoided is good. I think that is probably going to give us a little bit of a little bit of a bullish movement on Monday. But we're still in a pretty good bear trend. So we're still in a pretty good bear trend. So I don't really see much happening with that. But I'm going to tell you, as far as zero DTE trading goes, listen, every day we trade what we see. So what I mean by that is we take some of the time as sellers and we look at what price action has done for the day. And then we make a determination based on what has happened that day. So, we may look at that first strategy I was talking about is kind of based on a breakout first thing in the morning. And then a little bit later in the day, we look for a like intraday reversal. And then we get outside of that. We use our credit spreads to make it do what it do, baby. We make it do what it do. So it can gap up all it likes. We watch to see what does the price action do, what does the candles do, and then after it's done doing some of what it's doing, and we can see some kind of trend happening, we jump right on it, on it. That's what we do in our community. But I feel like you have to be mindful, Curtis. I think that was a really wonderful question. You have to be mindful of what's going on a daily basis, so that you make sure to get outside or stay in the safe zones. We need to make sure we're in the safe zones. That's what we're after, right? Okay. Coolly. So this coming week coming up, we got a couple things on the list. Did y'all know that Powell was going to speak? It's either Monday or Tuesday. I'm going to get to the calendar here in a minute. But Powell and FOMC is speaking one day this week. Well, sir, I don't think I knew he was going to speak this week. I don't think I knew that. So that's on there. We'll talk about the calendar here in a second, some stuff that's going on this week as far as that goes. We'll look at some charts here while we're on today. We'll check out the charts. We'll look at SPX, XSP, and SPY, maybe Triple Q. We'll look at some stuff. And then we'll talk a little bit about some cash secure puts. What's going on with our cash secure puts. We'll talk about that. And not a whole lot of stuff is happening in terms of earnings. Earnings is our earnings season is kind of running out. It'll ramp back up here in a minute, but it's running out for now. So that's earnings is not a whole lot happening there. And then we'll answer whatever questions we got along the way. Whatever questions you have that pop up, go ahead and put them into the chat. Let me get us a screen together. And then I'm going to go ahead and start sharing. Let's talk first about what's going on with our calendar meetings. And I think that's important because once we have that, screen one, am I sharing? Yes, I am. Hope everybody can see the screen. I want that to be just a bit bigger. Oh, let's try that one. Maybe I'll go with this one. I want you to be able to see it. There we go. So this is what's coming up on our calendar. Actually, it's Monday. So I go to Forex Factory. You can too. Even though it says Forex Factory, this is not a calendar about Forex. Just so you know, I don't trade Forex. I have nothing against it. It's just I don't trade it. All right. But this calendar keeps up with the events that are happening in the U.S. You can probably have it set to do other countries. I have it to do the U.S. And you can see what's coming up as far as scheduled meetings during the week. So tomorrow, Monday morning, at 9:45, we're going to have our PMI. At 10 o'clock, we also have PMI happening. This is red folders. Red folders means there's higher volatility anticipated, right? At 11 o'clock, though, I'm going to say at 11 o'clock. I have to remember that I do know how to speak the King's English, even though I'm from the country. So I say I'm from the country. I'm really not from the country per se. I was raised in Florida and my family's from Alabama. So I'm Southern. I'm not really from the country. I will totally take that back. I was born in Cleveland and raised in Central Florida. So I'm definitely not from the country. My parents are. So I've got a lot of country in me. But anyway, that's completely off topic. Completely off topic. Like, what are you talking about? You're not from the country. My kids will be on here going, no, you're not. I'm not. I'm not at all from the country. But even though I'm not from the country, I do. Anyway, I'm going on. I'm going to just leave that alone. Powell is going to speak at 11 o'clock on Monday. Now, FOMC, he's the Fed chair. He's going to speak. Harker's speaking after him. And at 1 o'clock, FOMC member Barr is speaking. Let's go see where is Powell speaking. He's going to be at a roundtable discussion with workers, small business owners, and community leaders in York. Audience questions expected. Ooh, they're expecting audience questions. Why do we care? It says here, why traders care? As the head of the central bank, which controls short-term interest rates, he has more influence over the nation's currency value than any other person. That's a whole lot of pressure, I think. Traders scrutinize his public engagements as they are often used to drop subtle clues regarding future monetary policy. Oh, subtle clues. Ooh. So I don't know. Maybe is that position? Maybe somebody on here knows. Is that yes? I'm from Cleveland. I am a Buckeye. Is that position, like, is it appointed or does a person, I guess you don't run for it. It doesn't sound like it would be something political. I don't know. I'd want the job of the Federal Reserve chair. How do you get that job? The president appoints it? Like, what happens to that job? It's probably not the president, because that to me would mean he would have to bend to what the president wanted. Maybe he's voted on by some other group. That would be an interesting thing to find out. Who picks the Federal Reserve chair? And how long do they stay in position? Do they stay there? Do they die off like the people who were on the big judge board? Do you stay the Supreme Court? Do you stay there till you die? I don't think that's a great idea, by the way, that you stay there till you die, because no, the things change, you change, you just get kind of. It's almost like in college, you have people, some of the professors get tenure, and after they get tenure, they get ineffective because they're just like, you can't get rid of me now. So they become just a sitting log. Kind of feels like that way with the Supreme Court. I was not going there either. I don't know how I'm onto these topics that are nothing to do with what we're talking about. Curtis says that the Fed chair is appointed by the president. Okay, and confirmed by the Senate. All righty. So when the president changes, the Fed chair changes also? I'm just asking you all kind of stuff. That's for the chair and the vice chair. Curtis, I really appreciate you being here, because that's a good question. These are questions I had and didn't have answers to. Okay, so the person stays there until we change presidencies, or do they stay until, I don't know. Anyway, that's what's going on Monday. Let me go focus on my list of things that are coming up. Powell, again, is speaking at a roundtable in York on Monday morning at 11. Red folder, because anything he says, does its thing. Tuesday, we've got Joe's job openings. That's coming up on Tuesday morning, and the red folder at 10 o'clock in the morning. The Ward's total vehicle sales. Do y'all know that there's a whole lot happening with vehicles selling right now? That these vehicle financier companies, I even saw somewhere that Ally Bank, ALLY Bank, Ally is one of the ones who will allow people to get vehicles with their business credit. But they are either having some massive layoffs or talking about going out of business. I want to say it's massive layoffs, that Ally is in that situation. So this is like a thing, right? This is a thing. When you start seeing major lenders start doing stuff like having short-term lending versus, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do y'all know y'all can finance a car for 8, 9, and 10 years? Who in the world financing a car for 10 years? It would definitely make the payment affordable, maybe, but 10 years of paying a car payment? Oh my goodness. Anyway, goodness gracious, Arlissa, stay on task. Some of these companies now are starting to do things like having shorter term, almost like Longer term leases, what short term leases, like people can lease cars for 3 and 4 years or whatever period of time now, but they've got shorter term. So you can lease for 6 months, or you can lease for a year. And that's really trying to just capture a whole different market. When you can lease something for 6 months or for a year, it's like that we're trying to get you in. We're trying to get you in this financing, no matter by any means possible. By any means possible. Thank you for using Google, Curtis. I appreciate that. Oh, excuse me. All righty. So Wednesday, I'm barely a day in, 2 days in. Wednesday, we've got our OPEX JMMC meetings. Non-farm employment change is they're coming at 8:15. That's a before the market opens thing, which is good. Final services PMI, ISM services PMI, factory orders month over month. Oh, the PMI is red folders. That's important. That's at 10 o'clock in the morning. FOMC member Bowman is speaking at 10:25, yellow folder. Crude oil inventories and FOMC member Goolsby speaking at 10:30. Again, yellow folders. That's on Wednesday. Thursday, we've got a red folder with unemployment claims coming in at 8:30, right? Challenger job cuts year over year coming in at 7:30. The rest of the day, trade balance, natural gas storage, FOMC member Barr is speaking again. Those are all yellow folders. And then on Friday, we got average hourly earnings month over month, non-farm employment change, unemployment rate. FOMC member Waller is speaking. So we have a red folder every day this week. Red folder every day this week. That's why my guidance to my community every single day is to trade what you see. Trade what you see. And the great thing about being sellers is we don't have to rush into the market as soon as it opens. You can be a seller and literally sell a contract at $3.59 and make your profits. We're sellers. We don't need the price to our strike and collect what price is doing or how close it is to it. And you 1 minute, you're in the trade literally 1 minute and you can make your money. So we don't have, as sellers, we don't have any reason to rush into a trade in the morning. People do, and we can't, because we can capture the volatility of what's going on or the breakout that happens. But generally 10:30, about 10:15, 10:30 is when we look to enter a trade. We don't have to be popping on and hopping in. Now, when you're a buyer, you have to contend with that. And I'm not knocking one thing or the other. Wonder why we're doing this. Now, I'm not knocking that one way or the other, just saying that it's a difference between buyers and sellers. It's just a difference. Okay. Not sure who this guy is down here. Got a commercial going on. We got the PMI that was Monday here. 3 JOLTS job openings on Tuesday is the 3 stars. Non-farm employment PMI on Wednesday. Oh, it was on, what's his name not mentioned on Monday? Powell was not mentioned. Oh, yeah, there it is. I overlooked it. Powell is right here with 3 stars. I'm like, I know they got that on here. PMI, that's Wednesday. Crude oil. See how crude oil inventory here says 3 stars, but over on Forex, it says it's a yellow folder. Well, no, or very little volatility. But over here it's 3 stars, which is high volatility expected. What's going on with our oil is of importance. So Forex Factory needs to get it together. It's not a yellow folder. Jobless claims on Thursday is the 3 stars, which means high volatility. And then Friday, we've got a couple of 3-star events going on Friday. Like I said, every day this week, you've got something there that is going to be of importance to contend with. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're going to look at TradingView, see what the market did. When I say the market, I'm talking about SPX, like the overall big boy market, right? Used to be a time, I didn't know if y'all knew this, but used to be a time that I was afraid to trade SPX. I was like, nope, I don't want to trade SPX. I'm not putting $500 into a trade. But you know what? I now know what the problem was. I didn't know what I was doing. And anytime you don't know what you're doing, then you don't have a level of confidence in doing it. That's really what that comes down to. If you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to be fearful of losing, which is why I take the time to coach and train and really kind of guide along the way anybody who's really willing to learn. Because I've been in the situation where I was afraid to do something because I didn't know what I was doing. Basically, I didn't know what I was doing. So because I didn't know what I was doing, I was fearful. But I really now can see time has passed. I've learned more. I know more. I really see that I see the benefit of SPX and XSP, especially as zero DTE. Now, is there a risk factor? Yeah, there's a risk factor with trading anything. You can buy Apple shares, and that's a risk factor. Now, Apple shares over the long haul is probably going to be fine. I'm just saying there's a risk when you do anything as far as markets go. Nothing is 100% guaranteed, or everybody would do it, right? So I do see now that there's benefit. There's much more benefit. I don't know what's going on with my eye. There's much more benefit, or there can be benefits with the zero DTE, especially if you're utilizing a strategy that finds you some safe strikes and gives you a repeatable situation where that doesn't have a whole lot of risk to it, right? I mean, all depends on who you ask, right? What you're working with and who you ask. Y'all see, I got a whole bunch of lines on this here chart. It probably needs to be cleared and like start over, because what I do is I'll put all these things on the chart, and then later on I'll forget why I put what things. It's like, why did I put this line? That's why you see some are dashed, because the dash ones automatically do let me know those are gaps. And I put them there, like this one here can go because this gap has been filled in now. It got filled in with this candle. So the weekly and daily buyer's gap that is right here is no longer there. I could take that off. This one here too. This was a gap here. It was a gap from previously, and that's no longer a gap either. This big red candle from the week of September 18th closed up a whole bunch of gaps. It closed all these little ones that were along the way. But this is the weekly chart that we're on. We're looking at the weekly chart. And what I teach is that we trade, or we check support and resistance. We check support and resistance as our mainstay. So support and resistance isn't necessarily everything, but everything is based on it. No matter how many indicators you use, all of those indicators are responding to previous past action, previous price action. Every indicator is taking past data and pulling it in. Nothing is ever like forward reaching. It takes past information, comes it all together and says, this is the situation now. And you take that, this is the situation now, and make a determination on what to do next. But all those indicators, every indicator is based on price action. So if you really take the time, when I say you, I'm talking about me too. So even if I say you, I'm saying me too. All righty. So if we look back at our price action and really get good with, candle patterns and charting support resistance, charting trend lines, things like that, then you're going to have a better idea of where price, will potentially go in subsequent days. That's how that works. Okay. That's how that works. Okay. So I'm looking here to see where is there some support on the weekly chart. And I think this really turns into a chair. Sometimes I change this to a line chart, because when you change it to a line chart, you actually can see the peaks and the valleys, and you can see the places where price just kind of stalls out. And if that one in those places where price just kind of sits still, then that is like a support or resistance as well. Also, if you use moving averages, I put the 9 and the 20 on my chart, the 9, the 20, and the 200. It's not on this chart. I have everything almost turned off from what I did yesterday. But I turn on those moving averages. That way I can use those kind of as a guideline, but that's really probably all the indicators I really use. But if you have places where the price stalls out, kind of sits still, then that's probably a support or resistance area. And moving averages also can function as support and resistance. So current price is here at the 42.88 area, and there's a little bit of a lull over here. Let you know that we kind of are in a support area. And the next one is down here at 42.05, where the price kind of sits a little bit, takes a pause, and then a strong one here at 41.21. That's really far down there. I don't know, people don't want us to get to 41.21, boy. We up here in the 43s and 42s, and nobody wants to put a 41. Nah, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. So let me change it back to candles. I'm changing it back to candles. This is a weekly chart, like I said. This is a weekly chart. And so we're kind of in a support area based on the way this is looking right here. The next one really is down at this gap, because gaps also provide support and resistance. In case you didn't know that, they can. Because in the midst of here, this is a buyer's gap. In the midst of here, there's buyers. So when price comes down in here, there are buyers who are waiting in here at certain prices, and they'll pop in and go, oh, I wanted to buy. And they'll buy and price will run back up. That's how that goes. Okay, so let's look on the daily chart then too. Look on the daily chart. See what we got on the daily chart. Ooh, there's a big old gap up here that's still waiting to be filled. Let's put a line or something on there so we can. So subsequently, when I return, wondering what things were, I'll say, oh, this was a gap. I can later on come back and say, oh, that was a gap. That happened to be a gap. Because I put something on here that I do remember. Is it easier for you all to see the white chart or to see the black chart? I see people who do both when they're online, and sometimes I feel like the black is not as easy to see. What do y'all think? Anybody here have a preference for the white or the black chart when they're looking online? I think it's the white one seems to work better for my eyes, but that's not always the case for everybody. Hey, I see some people coming on to Instagram. If you want to find us, you got to go. Let me put the link in the chat so that way you can come and find us on YouTube and you can see the screen. YouTube.com. Hold on, you all who are already on YouTube. ADER. Here we go. Yeah, come on over to YouTube. It's almost like that song. Come on over to my place. Come on over to YouTube. Oh my goodness. I have to entertain myself. I spend a good bit of time alone. And not really a lot of time. I spend a good enough time alone. My husband works odd hours. So a lot of times I do stuff that's computer based a lot. And I just find myself, I have to entertain myself. Oh, come on. I want to get rid of you. There we go. So anyway, support. We just left the support area. Looks like it was at 42.65, which we have found that to be a pretty strong zone. 42.65 is a pretty strong place on the SPX world, okay? So around 42.65, pretty strong zone. You see it came down into here, boop, and went on back about its way. Friday was a red day, but you see how it came down in this support area and then turned around. That means price opened up here. Price opened up here at like 43.27. It fell throughout the day, but it opened. This was a nice gap up open. It did come back down and fill its own gap. But that's what's going on with that. Resistance at this point is this gap, 43.74 is where the resistance is going to be. This is a daily seller's gap. So there's sellers hiding in here. So if price comes in, some people will sell it, probably come back down to more. Overall, we are definitely in a bearish trend still. We are seeing some positive, some pops a little bit, like we had a good green day on Thursday. We had one back here on Monday. You have some little pops, but we're still in an overall bearish trend. So you have to function with that. Now, if you're day trading, again, trade what you see. But if you're looking to trade more longer term, you're looking to trade some swinging, you're going to need to make sure that you're utilizing your support and resistance on your charting. All right, your trends, those kind of things, watching how candles are ending up. That's going to give you a little more insight into what's going on on multiple days. All right. So SPX looks the same as XSP. One of the things we trade is we trade XSP because XSP is smaller for credit spreads. It's a XSP is a one spread, so that means you only have to take one. It's one spread, so you only have $100 that you use for collateral if you do just the one spread. Okay, so when you're doing so anytime you're doing SPX, SPX is a 5 spread. So you have to do $500 when you trade a credit spread. That's your collateral you're putting up with SPX. But with XSP, just like with SPY, it's a 1 spread. So you're putting up $100 of collateral to collect your premiums. Jamie says, I won't be getting that song out of my head anytime today. Come on over to YouTube. Yeah, don't make me sing it. Y'all know I got a song for everything. I have a song for everything. Yes, I have a song for everything. I will put the lyrics, make them my own. Yes, that's what we do. That's exactly what we do. Okay, so we did SPX, XSP. Don't know who trades those. Listen, some people really like to trade SPY because SPY has a good bit of volume, and we used to trade SPY in this community a lot. And I loved it. That's how we really got our. That's how we got our start. Started from the bottom, now we're here. That's how we got our start. Was with the SPY, Triple Q, and IWM strategy that we did, like a 1 DTE strategy where we would enter one day and close the next. We loved it. Absolutely loved it. The VIX went nuts, and our strategy went rah, rah, rah. Yeah. So, but then what we found out along the way, though, is that there's times when you can have a good trade going, and because the broker is doing their risk management suite, they'll shut off a good trade. They're like, well, it's kind of close, and they'll shut you off. Probably because SPY and Triple Q trade into the night now. They don't stop at 4 or 4:15. They continue into 6 and 6:30. So price can actually run up after hours. So the broker has to shut off trades, to protect themselves, because if your account can't withstand an exercise or an assignment, they have to shut the trade off in case the price does go by and you get assigned. They're stuck trying to figure out how to get the money out of you. And no. But with XSP, it's cash settled. It's cash settled, which means, first of all, it stops at 4 o'clock. So whatever it is at 4 o'clock, that's what you're getting, right? And you don't have to worry about any shares to contend with. There's no shares to worry up with. You're just doing just cash. So, we like that. If you don't have it already, let me turn on real quick this banner. If you don't have the strategy that we use for SPX and XSP, you ought to go ahead and get that, right? Is it running on the bottom? I don't feel like it's running. Oh, I see it now. Because this strategy will show you all the entries, all the exits, all the exactly when to get in, how to get out, how to defend. It tells you if you're only one who has time in the morning to enter, there's a strategy to help you do just mornings. If you're one who want to wait till the afternoon, you can use the afternoon strategy. If you want to just use SPX, XSP, not SPX, there's a piece of this little resource training that includes just XSP. I mean, everything is there. It's very comprehensive. It took us a good little amount of time. A lot of good questions came up while we were doing that training. And it really will walk you through the multiple ways to make money with SPX every single day. Okay. And I'm not just, I'm not going to break my arm, pat my own self on the back, but I'm just saying, though, that this strategy is the one we use every single day. And I'm not sure if you don't follow I'm not sure if you follow me on social media, but that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this from I put it in there this morning. Hope y'all can see that. There we go. It was we did a challenge within our group. We did an SPX challenge to see how we could grow and double our collateral. And I took $1,000 of collateral and used it over and over each day on credit spreads. And you can see every day I tell you what the results were. 1 week I suffered 2 losses in the same week. So I ended up that week in a negative. But even in the midst of that, with the $1,000 and continuing to rinse and repeat it, I ended up with 1,261 in profits at the end of the 1 month, right? Using the strategy that I'm talking about in that book I just was mentioning. In the playbook, or in the training, or it is a playbook too. You can get the playbook. The playbook only talks about one piece of it. The full strategy is the XSP SPX training for daily profits. It's the really full and comprehensive one. And yes, it costs a little bit more money because it's got more power. SPX power. Yeah, it's got more power. So it costs a little more because it's got more power. Okay, that's how that goes. When something has more benefit and power, it costs more. Yeah, that's how that goes. Alrighty, so I shared that. Let's move on to look at some cash secure puts. Get some cash secure puts under our belt. Every week I put this out on my social media. If you're not following me, or if you haven't followed me, or if you're on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps you to see everything I put out there, and it helps the channel to grow, which means we want to share with more and more people. Okay, subscribe to the channel, like, hit the notification bell, make sure that you can see us when we are here. All righty. But I put this out on my social media. You follow me in all the places. I'm Educator2Trader everywhere. I don't try to be everywhere, because that is kind of taxing and almost exhausting to be everywhere. But I do seem to sporadically post. Some places I post more consistently. The others, like TikTok, I actually like posting on TikTok because I feel like the levity of it. It doesn't feel so serious. Instagram feels more serious to me. It feels like it's like you got to be like posting on Instagram like a job. TikTok feels like it's a lot more fun, even though I put information on TikTok that is useful information. I'm purposely adding value on TikTok. So I'm not like over there just acting silly. I mean, even when I do the stuff that kind of allows me to act silly, I'm still putting value in there. I'm just not out there talking about anything weird. So but I like posting on on TikTok more than any place else. I'm almost done fooling with Facebook. They upset me so bad with those links. Woosa. Facebook started pulling down links for no reason, and they won't even give a response to anybody or why they're pulling the links down. Anyway, cash secure puts. Let's talk about this. Cash secure puts. When you're selling cash secure puts, you're selling puts. This is a bullish trade, a bullish strategy. It is one of the most passive strategies that you can do. And it's going to be one of the best that's going to help you generate good, consistent income. You'll have to put up your collateral, pick you a strike, and then you collect your money and let it do its thing. All right. So let's see which one we think we might want to look at. We probably can look at ARDX, and y'all got one on this list y'all think you'll want to look at more than anybody else? ARDX, I'm not sure why that struck me as something to do. I think Fisker, maybe FSR. Is it Fisker? That's not First Solar. That is Fisker. Has to be. And Mara. We could look at Siri. Anybody got anyone that they like more than any other? No. Okay, let me get out of the sharing. Stop screen share. I don't see the thing that says stop sharing. Oh, there it goes. Let me get us into a place where we can see. Mara, okay. Hello, Happy. How are you? Mara or Real? I don't think I know anything about Real. Let's go take a look at it. Of course, now Thinkorswim wants to take its Penty old time starting up. Mara and Riot are about at the same price right now. They both are in the crypto space. They're about the same price right now. Mara has always provided kind of decent, has that pretty decent premium. JB coming up with the songs now, talk about singing to Mara. Yeah. I missed my opportunity to sing the song. Oh, come on, Thinkorswim. It's just kind of dabbling in. Mara, what is real all about? Let's see. Mara has better premiums. Yeah, Mara does have, but they're about the same price, but Mara has a little bit better premiums. Actually, I don't know. This week when I looked at the watch list, Riot had a little bit better money. Thinkorswim is just sitting still. Maybe all of my bandwidth is being used running this live in all the places. Since I'm going and going, my Thinkorswim is like, you are doing too much. Let's see what real is on I'll look on Trading View to see what real is. That's another thing it's keeping running is Trading View. The real. Oh goodness. Well, what is real? Anybody on here know what real does? Because the name of the company is the real. Now that is definitely telling. Like, what the real what? Who said they were the real thing? Ain't nothing like the real thing. These people say they're the real. Ain't nothing like the real baby. My video gonna get kicked off because I'm gonna have copyright claims. You know, when you sing the songs on the videos, I think Facebook definitely does that. Well, they'll cut off certain parts of the video and take the sound out if there's copyright claims. YouTube will sometimes do that too. I don't know why. Oh, there it is. Finally. See if we can get Thinkorswim to open up. Oh, I probably could have it. I probably could look at puts on Robinhood. Does anybody do puts on Robinhood? I do. A lot of times we'll do my puts over on Robinhood. Yeah, this is going super slow. It's just working hard, trying to pull enough bandwidth to manage. I'll close off Trading View so that way it's not interrupting the process. Right. Mara does have good premiums. Riot did too the other day. Let me see if I can. I'm ducking around because there's something right in front of the. I have my camera right in front of the buttons. It looks like we might have some power here with Thinkorswim. Y'all hold on. Change is on the way. Did you cancel the in-person training? Yes, I did. I canceled it. Were you coming, Lynn? Love Grace? Were you coming? Yep, I canceled it. I didn't see that there was enough interest to make it worth everyone's situation. So I did cancel it. Let's look at real. I'm hoping I can get the charts to do right. It's sometimes very hard for these to populate with the charts. Get real. Did anybody find out what real is? What does the real do? Why do they think their name needed to be said twice? The Real Incorporated. Only the Real that is incorporated. The chart for the Real. This is a daily chart, which means every candle here is a day's worth of data. There we go. Ooh, look at that long wick from Friday. What did we learn in our community? What these long wicks mean? Long wick. There was selling pressure, pulling down. The buyers were like, no, sir, you will not. There's a gap down here, which is where it hit right in the middle of that gap and came right back out. Remember, I talked about there being buyers in between these two places. There's a gap this is back from June. There was a gap at the Real. I need somebody to find out who they are, because I'm just going to pick at their name otherwise, and that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to just comment about their name. But so you want to pick, when you're selling puts, you want to pick a strike price below support. You want to pick a strike price below support. I would see the price closed up here at, it's like 212. Price goes about 212, and support is really around 205, $2, just above $2, somewhere in there. So you may be able to look at a 2 strike. So you're thinking about, according to the chart, 2, except for this long wick here, 2 could be below their support. Then we go over to the option chain and look for the puts idea to see what kind of money. So just for this week, a 2 strike is going to pay $5. That's for October, right? These are monthly ones. I'm not a big fan of doing the monthlies. I know some people are. I'm not knocking it. For me, I have a tough time just letting it, not having it, being able to do week to week. That's my own issue. Please don't let that be your guidance point. It's just that I'd like to be able to choose from week to week if I'm selling puts. I don't want to have to do from month to month. But October the 20th, which now is 20 or 19 days, the 2 put is paying $5. Well, that's not really going to be worth, you're going to pay $1.50, $1.35, something like that in fees. So you're only going to make $3 off of leveraging your capital with real. If you're one who's okay with going out further, or you have a strong conviction about the company, if you really like the company and you really don't mind having the stock, so on and so forth, then maybe you hang out with them longer. You can put a November trade on for $15. That's a little bit less than a 10% return on your collateral. And if you looked in, they don't even have December even on here. The 2 strike in January is $20. Okay. That's for the real. Let's go look at ARDX. I think I said was Arlissa. They're also a monthly. Looks like they're also a monthly one for the 20th. Let me see if I can get something on here onto the chart. We can look at the chart, because you should, if you're selling puts, your desire is that you don't want price to come down to your strike. If price does expire at your strike, you're going to be put 100 shares of the stock. Now, if you're okay to grab the stock at that price, then, definitely go for it. When you're trading puts, you're really saying, I'm okay with owning the shares at this price. It's not that you got a high likelihood you're going to be assigned, but the opportunity for you to be assigned is there, especially if price comes down into your support area. So I would say support here would be about 404, really close. It's current price is at 408. If you go down to the next support level, it's about 387. So you could maybe do the 350, or the $4 strike. Oh, they got pretty decent premiums for October the 20th. The 3.5 strike is paying $25. That's almost 10% return. The 4 strike is paying $40. That is 10% return in 19 days. Very passive. The reason I say this strategy is passive is because you don't have to watch it, really. If you're okay with getting the shares at the price you picked, then if price comes down into your strike, you just let this whole trade do its thing. At the end of it, you get 100 shares or you don't. And if you get 100 shares, you need to have done the thought to think about how am I going to make premiums? If I receive the shares and I do covered calls, what does that covered call money look like? So you look over here at the other side to see, are the covered call premiums decent? And if so, you can move forward. You're like, yep, I'm cool with that. Okay. The 4 strike is going to require $400 of collateral. 3 strike, $300 of collateral, minus the money you take in premiums. But I always give that round number so people will know how much are they going to be leveraging of their buying power when you do these. But if you're looking for a way to utilize capital that's just sitting in your account and it's not really doing anything, it's not making any money, it's not losing any money, but it's not making any money, do some cash secure puts. Let your money work for you while you're sitting there. Right? Pick a stock that you don't mind owning, right? Pick a stock you don't mind owning and do some cash secure puts with that money while it's just sitting there. right? Let it be growing a bit. You can do cash secure puts and covered calls, I want to say, in almost every IRA. And many times if you got a 401k or something at your job and they give you the opportunity to do some of your own trading with it, cash secure puts is a great thing to do. Because you got it there, your profits are there, the money's sitting there, and if you end up with shares, then your account has now 100 shares, and then you sell cover calls. All right, that's a really good thing to do if you got money just sitting and it's not got a job. I was listening to a guy today who was talking about all of his money has a job attached to it, a job assigned to it, and I thought, whoo. He was saying somebody told him that to do something with his extra money. He was like, I don't really have any extra money or, leftover money. I don't have any leftover money. He said he had his money all was assigned to something. All of his money was assigned to some type of job. The guy has plenty of money, but he was saying that none of his money is just like leftover extra money. All of his money has been assigned a task. I said, wow, that's a mindset. It's a good mindset. Okay, we're looking at Mara now. We said we wanted to look at Mara. Looking at Mara. Let's see what our chart says about Mara. Mara is a little bit more expensive stock. It's currently at $8.50, right? A lot of people say the ones that are under $10 are highly volatile, but there's some really good over $10 stocks, like SOXL would be one I'd probably look at. If you are a fan of semiconductors, you got TQQQ, SQQQ. If you just wanted to rinse and repeat the other sides, TQQQ is a mini version of the triple Q, and SQQQ is the short of the triple Q. So when QQQ is going down, SQQQ is going up, and the opposite. When QQQ is going up, SQQQ is going down. It's the short, so it's going to be the opposite. TQQQ is a smaller version of the triple Q. It's a $30 stock. I want to say it's about $30, $35. It's the 10% of the triple Q. So you can trade those if you wanted to get in the $30-ish range. You could trade those right along with the tech area. If you're a tech person who likes to trade tech stocks, then SQQQ and TQQQ may be a good place for you to rinse and repeat from week to week. If the market's going down, then you jump on one of them. You jump on whichever one's going up, which if the market's going down, you're definitely going to want the SQQQ. And if the market's going up, then you go with the TQQQ. All right. All right. Let's look here at our support here on Mara. Yep, $8.06 is what I see as the support area. $8.06. Somebody may feel like that's a little too close for comfort because the price is at $8.50. If you look over here, the support area is right here where it happens to be. All these lines here just show you that price hovered in this area for looks like about 2 weeks. This is the daily chart we're on. 5 days, 10 days, 3 weeks. It hovered in this same general area for about 3 weeks before it bumped up. And then when it came back down, it still hovered here. This is a month and a half. It hovered in this little area. This is a support area. And then you've got this moving average. The moving average, like I said, operates as support or resistance, depending on where it's located. It operates like that. So we can say here that Mara is down at its support area, which is a perfect situation. Okay, remember, let me say this real quick. I don't know if I've said this yet. None of the stuff I talk about is trading advice. None of it. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not offering financial advice. I'm here to help. I'm pointing out stuff. I'm saying if you think you want to do this, then there's, maybe opportunities for you, and I may be able to help you along the way. All right. No financial advice. I wonder where all the comments went. Y'all, it was like nothing. And then now all these comments popped up. I was like, did everybody leave me? Nobody knows. Okay, so Anand says the Real Inc. operates on an online marketplace for consigned luxury goods. Oh, that's why they're the Real. It engages in the consignment of luxury goods across multiple categories. Interesting. Lady T, is that the company that resells luxury goods? Sounds like it. Sound like the real operates. Okay. Women's fashion, men's fashion, jewelry, and watches. Ooh. Anan said they sell pieces from designers such as Chanel, Christian Louboutin, Gucci, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Celine, Jimmy Choo. I tried on a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes in the mall one time. Those shoes were so comfortable. Oh my God, it was back when I was wearing heels. Now I'd probably break an ankle trying to walk in them heels. Burberry and Valentino. Buying or selling pressure. Yes. Oh, you're in Cleveland? Yes, I still got family in Cleveland. I have several family members who still live. That's where I was born. The investment says he trades only triple Q. Mm-hmm. Oh, here we go. Let me get back to the task at hand. Mara, we're looking at puts, selling puts on Mara. We looked at 8 as our strike. I'm going to tell you one little tip here before I actually get ready to end our call. I didn't realize we've been on here about an hour. Don't tell anybody. Been on here for about an hour. Me and my silliness. Thank y'all for hanging out for an hour-ish. Sometimes I will look at the probability OTM as an indication as to whether or not this is a good strike, right? So we looked at 8 on the chart. Now we look here at 8. 8 shows here as a 67% probability out of the money at expiration, which will be this coming Friday. Says the 8 strike has a 67% chance of being out of the money, which as sellers, we want to be out of the money, right? Just so we're clear on that. That may be a little more risky than some people like. That says it's a 30% chance, 32% chance that it's going to be in the money. 1/3% chance it's going to be in the money. Some people are like, no, don't want to be that close. Okay, then you go to the 7.5 strike. If you want an 82% chance of your trade being good and you not getting assigned, then you go to the 82, you go to 7.5. 7.5 is only paying $8 though, right? You're making $8 in premium, which is about a 1% return on this money. But 1% in a week is still good. I never want you to despise any returns. Any returns are good returns. I try to go for about 10%. Sometimes I'm cool with 5, but that may mean you need to go out subsequent weeks, right? But if you want to just do week to week, that's how this is going to play out. So the 8 strike is paying $19. So about $20 is what, 0.25% return on the money. You could go out. Let's look at October the 13th. And I'm only just tossing out the concepts and ideas and walking through the thought process so you can decide on your own which you want to do. I'm a fan of mixing and matching inside your trades. Do 1 or 2 cash secure puts. If you've been assigned some stuff, then you've got covered calls going. We do daily SPX and XSP credit spreads. I do that with a small portion of my account. And then I do credit spreads on other things. I'm a fan of the 50-cent credit spread. So any stock that's less than $50, that's worth less than $50 or price less than $50, usually has 50-cent spreads. Like these. See, these are all have 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5. Those are going to be $50 spreads. I like doing different $50 spreads. And I'll find those to do, second part of the week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll see what I want to do about those. But I like to mix and match. That way there's not just one thing happening inside my account at the time. Now, I have to make myself not have too many things because that can be distracting. But you want to have a little bit going, a little bit going, a little bit going. Right? Nothing that's going to take your account down into, it's going to tank you. You don't want to over leverage any particular trade. You want to practice proper risk management. We're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. No. And even if you start off with a small basket, let me, because I just heard something. If you're going to start off with a small basket, maybe you got a couple hundred, 200 or 300, 400, and you want to work with something like XSP to build it up or something like that, then I think that is completely cool, right? You started with a small basket, you build it up, you build it up and build it up, and then it gets solid. Once it gets to be solid, you start to do other things with it. You put in more money in there as you get paid. Maybe you put another extra $50 or $100 into the account to help grow it. You're also growing it with more money that you're making with premiums. You're doing the things to boost up the trading account so that way you can make some other you can do some other trades, right? That's what we're doing with that. All righty. Okay, Mara, the 8th strike, if you go out to the 13th of October, the 8th strike is paying $36. That's almost a 5% return. If you wanted to stick with 7.5, oh yeah, let's look over here at the probability out of the money. I wanted to make sure I brought that up again. 7.5 out 2 weeks says it's got like a 72% chance of probability out of the money. So if I was going to go out to October the 13th, I probably would go down to 7.5 because I like to have at least a 70% probability out of the money. That's me. I like to have at least a 70% probability out of the money. Some folks go with 60, and everybody's as aggressive as they want to be. I like to be a little bit above. I want to be higher than 70%. Depending on what I'm fooling up with, because if I'm fooling up with SPX, I'm up there close to 90. unless we're very close to the end of the trading day. If we get closer to the end of the trading day, then I may lean back into 75. But if I'm not at a 75 strike price early in the day, no. SPX is crazy. It can be. So if I'm early to the ball game, I'm up in the 90s. Right. This is on SPX, not on Mara. Because you try to do it on Mara, you see up in the 80s and the 90s, there is no money up here. There's no money that far away. But SPX will have a little bit of profits, some premiums up there. Okay. What we would do in Mara 7.5 strike, you would select the bid column. Your $21 is going to be here. It says basically I'm selling one put at the 7.5 strike. I'm going to collect $21. When you pick confirm and send, it tells you you're going to have max profit $21, max loss $7.29. Such and such. I don't like that it says max loss because it would be your max loss if the stock literally went down to $0, then you would lose $729. I agree. But if you have this trade, you're in this trade and it goes below 7.5, you're going to be gifted or put 100 shares. So you're going to have the resource of the shares. You're going to have the shares, which to me is not a max loss. If when this is all over, you have an asset that you can contend with and continue to work with. That, in my opinion, is not you having a max loss. All right, that's not max loss. I've covered today. Yes, we looked at some SPX charting. We looked at our puts list, a few things off the puts list. We looked at the weekly calendar, the calendar for this week. We've endured my silliness and my singing, and we've talked about various random things. Anybody got any questions in here that they wanted us to discuss? Anything that they'd like to have a question asked? Anybody have a question they'd like to have asked and answered? We got our Stay Green and Get This Money shirts. If you want to grab one of those, it's running in the ticker down there, letting you know what's going on. Well, every day my community gets together in the morning. We get together. We have a pre-market call every day, and I no shame in my game when I say this. That morning call has saved me and has saved many other people from making trades that were not going to be good because we looked at the schedule for today or things that were coming up for that day, and that saved people from getting in on trades too early. Because again, we're sellers. We don't have to get in early. So that morning call has opened up, say, oh, don't forget that so-and-so's happening at 10 o'clock. And when you don't have that call and you're not disciplined enough to continue to look at these calendars, you may miss something like that, end up getting into a trade too soon. And then your trade goes bad because so-and-so's speaking at 2 o'clock. And at 10 in the morning, your trade looks like it's going to be phenomenal. 11 o'clock, my trade is banging. 12 o'clock, your trade doing fine. 1 o'clock, your trade is still good. 2 o'clock, somebody does an announcement and your trade goes into the tank. And you're like, wait, my trade was good for 4 hours. Yeah, so those morning calls help. So our membership does the morning call. We do bi-weekly coaching every other weekend. We do coaching on strategies and whatever else we need to do. And during the week, we have a training session every Wednesday where we talk about just really helping whatever issues people have with their, platforms, with trades. We talked about last week, we spent a really good time talking about charting and candle patterns. I mean, just whatever needs to be discussed in the moment. So we're doing that every week. That is the E2T membership that is happening in. And it is $97 a month. The value pays for itself almost instantly. Just having a community of people to trade with is also another thing that yes, having a I just got thrown off because Facebook doesn't want that link to go through. Okay, I know it. Educator. Hold on, I'm gonna finish what I was saying. Educator2Trader.mv site.app. There we go. That one should go. There we go. Having a community to trade with, because trading can be very lonely. Having a community to trade with, just the support of people who you can win with, and sometimes not very often anymore, just people you can lose with, people who can kind of help to guide you if you're like, I'm thinking about this, what do y'all think? And just to have a community to trade with is invaluable. It's totally invaluable. You can check out that, go to my website there and look for the E2T membership if that's something that interests you, and you can hang out with us over there. All righty. Please, again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you all taking your Sunday afternoon and missing a little football or letting football play in the background while I talk and act silly. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Well, we do two things here in this community, as I always say. We stay green and we get this money. All right. Bye, everyone. Everybody have a really good evening. I'll see some of you in the morning. Others of you, hopefully you'll join us at the membership. All right. I'll see y'all later. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye, sweetheart. Let me quit singing stuff, because then you keep singing stuff. YouTube liable to not put my video up. All right. I'll see y'all later. Let me go ahead and stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. There we go. End the stream.